Have you ever wished you knew how to build wealth and the secrets behind building and accumulating wealth? Well, these are the lessons that I wish I knew in my 20s to build wealth and be financially free. I have made a lot of mistakes in my 20s, and I have made some good moves towards building wealth. In this video, I will be sharing with you the 8 tips that I wish I knew back in my 20s and that I did well in my journey towards building wealth. So the first tip I would share with you is to invest in yourself first. In your 20s, this is the time to really own in on your education. So whether it's from university, college, or if it's from books, podcasts, videos, this is the time to really get a solid foundational education to help you start a career, build a skill, and even help you to create a side hustle and a business to develop your wealth. Gain skills that are valuable to your career that will set you apart from the rest of your colleagues. Gain skills that you can monetize and create extra income to further expedite your wealth. You can always work 9 to 5, and if you work an average salary, it will take you a very long time, over 20 to 40 years of consistently invested in index funds to really build wealth. Learn how to obtain assets, avoid liability, and manage your money properly, because it doesn't matter how much you earn. If you're spending more than you earn, then you will always be broke. Learning how to properly manage your money is very important in your 20s. So education is key. The second tip I wish I knew in my 20s was to take risk and to take them early. Back when I was 25, that was about 10 years ago, the housing market was really at a low price, and I had a good job working as a nurse. I had a good salary and enough savings, and I was in a position to buy a house at that point. But I hesitated. I hesitated out of fear, and I hesitated because I wanted to wait to settle down with my spouse before I purchased a property. Fast forward to now, the house prices have gone up by hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if I had taken that risk or that chance and invested my money into the real estate at that time, I would have been in a financially better position. So this doesn't only apply to house ownership, this applies to taking risk and starting that new side hustle, starting that new business, going for that position that you want, or traveling. So if you're taking risks, know that in your 20s, this is the best time to do so, because you have a lot of years ahead of you to try and fail. And through failure, that's when you really learn and grow. The third tip is to pay yourself first. Back in my 20s, I spent a lot of money on things that brought me joy, such as experiences and material things. I spent a lot of money because my job was stressful and I just wanted an escape, such as I'd get some fast food, I'd get some clothing, some jewelry. I used to spend majority of my paycheck on my wants, and at the end of the day, I did not have much to save. So if I had a chance to do it again, I would set up a system where I would automate a certain amount of money so that a portion of my paycheck goes automatically into my savings account or into my investment account. A rule of thumb is that you should spend 50% of your paycheck on your needs, 30% on wants, such as dining out, clothing, etc., and 20% on saving and investment. Automate your money. You don't want to be in a situation where you get paid and you spend all your money on bills and what have you, wants, going out to the movies, etc., buying clothing, and at the end of the day, you don't have anything to save significantly. So that's one tip that I wish I knew, to automate my money and set a specific amount aside for savings and investments, rather than saving or invest in what's left over after I've spent my money on other things. The fourth thing I wish I knew in my 20s is using tax advantage accounts. So one specific account that I did open in my 20s was a tax-free savings account. I live in Canada, so that's a TFSA account. And I use this account as a glorified savings account. So I did not know the benefits of this account. So I would put money in, accumulate money over time, and then pull it out whenever I needed to purchase something. Use this account the right way to optimize its benefits. If you save 10% of your paycheck and put it into a tax-free savings account, make sure that you just don't leave it there sitting. Invest that account into an index fund so that money can grow, so that you can benefit from the advantage of having tax-free return. Don't let your money sit there, because you need your money to start working for you. The fifth thing is understanding the difference between trading and invest in. I was always fascinated with money and the stock market and trading, but what I grew up learning about how to invest money was all wrong. I grew up learning that to put money into the stock market meant that you would buy a stock and then you would sell it and gain a profit off it. So I found myself day trading. So what I would do is that I would quickly research a stock, or I saw that a stock went down significantly one day and I know that wasn't the price that it should be, and I would purchase those stocks and then either wait until they go up, or if they were losing too much, I would sell them right away. While I did make some money doing day trading, I also lost a lot more money. So this was a really bad strategy to start out and a really poor understanding of what it meant to invest. It actually really scared me, and it took me a long time to start investing again. It was not until I started reading books such as The Millionaire Teacher, The Psychology of Money, and Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You How to Be Rich, was when I actually learned that investing is boring. Investing is choosing to purchase index funds, put in money in it every single month, or automatically every time you get your paycheck, that 10 to 20%, and leaving it there so that it can grow over time. And that's how you truly build wealth. So this money that you put into your investment is different from the money that you use for an emergency fund. What I wish I knew back then, and I think what scares a lot of people from the stock market, because they think the stock market is risky, is that they associate investing in the stock market in these boring index funds to buy in and trade in and getting into a situation where they buy risky stocks not understanding it, and then they lose more than they gain, or they just lose their money completely, and then they have this fear. So learn how to do it the proper way and the safer way by diversifying your investment so that your risk of losing over time is low, and that you will get that steady return over time, which is approximately on average 10% over a 10-year period. So learn the difference between trading, day trading, and long-term investment, because that will really save money. And in your 20s, this is the best time to invest due to the effects of compounding over time. Your money will grow faster than if you invest when you were in your 30s or your 40s. The sixth tip that I recommend if you're in your 20s and that I actually did well in was to pay off my debt and pay it off quickly. So I graduated from nursing school with student loans, and I did have the privilege of living with my mom 1 year after I graduated and I was working. So I used that time to aggressively pay down my student loan, and my money from my paycheck majority of it would go straight to student loans, and this significantly reduced the amount of money that I had to pay back to student loans and the interest that I needed to pay. So I was able to pay off my student loans very quickly by aggressively attacking the amount that was due. So this doesn't have to apply to student loans. If you have any credit card loans or anything like that in your 20s, try not to accumulate so much debt, because this would lead you to have more money to invest in assets and other things that will propel your life, rather than to have your money strapped to having to pay off your student loans. So try to pay off your student loans as quickly as possible, or any major debt that you have. The seventh tip that I have is using your credit card wisely. I remember getting my first credit card when I started university. I had $1,000 limit. They gave me a free t-shirt, some cookies, and some other treats, and I got my card. I used my card for almost all my purchases, and I used it because there was a reward system. I would get like flight points. So every purchase, whether it's grocery shopping, buying clothing, what have you, I would use my card because I thought that I was doing a great thing by using my card to get the points. However, I realized that the debt was accumulating and I wasn't paying it off every month, and I was paying that high interest rate. I think at that time it was around 19% on the credit card. So I say this to say, use your credit card wisely when you're in your 20s. Do not use your credit card just because you try to accumulate the points. The credit card companies benefit off this. They prey on people who do not know how to manage their money properly and incentivize you with the fact that you can use your money to get points and to travel, and you end up using that card and you end up accumulating a lot of debt, and at the end of the month people may have difficulties paying it off, and that's how they make money. So use your credit card wisely. Do not use your credit card for the points. And my general rule of thumb is if you don't have the cash to buy the item that you need to pay it off right away, do not put it on your credit card. Do not get into the habit of buy now, pay later. Make sure that you have the actual physical money in your bank account ready to pay off the credit card when you use it to buy an item. So my last and final tip of what I wish I knew about money in my 20s is actually not really about money. It's about a skill. So it is the skill of effective communication and public speaking. Having this skill can dramatically help you in every aspect of your life. So it can help you in your relationships, in your job. It can help you in your business, in securing a deal. It can help you to get in talking to your boss to get a promotion. And this is something that, I'm still working on. And this is something that I wish I spent more time on in my 20s, because I've learned now that you need to effectively communicate what you have to offer and what you bring to the table in order for people to visibly see your potential. You need to effectively communicate your perspective so that you can persuade others into believing in your cause. So public speaking is so important, and it's everything. And being confident and being clear in your communication will really set you apart and propel your career and your business or your future in the right direction. Your 20s is really a pivotal moment in your life. It's a time when you're going to college, you're navigating your career path, and you're discovering who you are as an individual. So it's a time where you're going to be making a lot of good decisions and a lot of mistakes that you will learn from. However, when it comes to money, you want to make sure that you make good decisions, and that is to educate yourself about how money works. I encourage you to implement these tips to invest in yourself, invest in your education, build your knowledge so that you can excel in your career or start a side hustle to make more money. If you're taking risk, take them early and take them fast so that you have the time to learn from them and grow even further. If you always wanted to buy that house, if you wanted to start that business, your 20s is really the time to take that calculated risk and give it a try. Most importantly, learn how money works. Do not follow the trends of getting involved in day trading because it's gambling and you'll lose more than you earn. Learn how to save and invest the proper way. Investing is boring. Investing is not fun or fancy. Invest in diversified index funds and keep it simple. Avoid accumulating a lot of debt on your credit card, and don't fall for the gimmick of using your credit card to accumulate points, because a lot of people fall for the trap. Pay yourself first, automate your money, put away 10 to 20% of your money into savings or investment so that you don't have to worry about it in this busy life, so that you're guaranteed to save that amount of money every month. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you have any tips on what you wish you knew in your 20s, or if you're in your 20s, share what you're doing well and what you wish you could work on. If this video helpful, also click on my video on money habits that are keeping you broke to learn more about how to build wealth and secure your financial future. Thank you for watching. Bye.